Great. Well, we are going to go ahead and get started. Welcome, everyone. My name is Laura with the Plano Public Library, and I want to thank you all for joining us for today's program. Please note your microphone and video have been turned off. If you have any questions, you can type them in the chat. Jess will be monitoring the chat to assist you with any issues and bring questions to my attention. We will also be sure to leave time for questions at the end. I do have a few housekeeping reminders that I'd like to share with everyone. Please note this program is being recorded and will be made available on the Plano Public Library YouTube page for later viewing. Soliciting business or selling merchandise during library virtual programs is prohibited. Please show respect for our presenter and one another throughout the program. Zoom provides live captioning. This option is available in the Zoom toolbar. Be a citizen scientist, backyard bugs. We're going to just hop right in and take a look at what is citizen science. Citizen science is a collaboration between scientists and people who are curious or concerned about the world around them. They are motivated to make a difference. It was not until recent that scientists became an occupation. In the past, science was done in your leisure time. No degree was necessary. For example, in 1674, Antony van Leeuwenhoek discovered microorganisms. He was a cloth merchant who made lenses to look at the weaves of the fabric he was selling. In his free time, he used these lenses, which were more powerful than microscopes of the day, to look at pond water, where he started to see little things crawling around inside the water. So today, he is known as the father of microbiology. Over time, science moved into the realm of professionals. Citizen science is a continuation of this tradition of the everyday scientist. Anyone can participate. The data collected by citizen scientists help professional scientists come to very real conclusions. Citizen science results in rigorous, reliable, and trusted science. Don't worry about having the expertise that a professional scientist has. People who are not scientists still have skills that are valuable to citizen science. As you work on projects, your expertise on the topic will grow. You are the expert of your own surroundings. You know when something is different or off, and this is valuable when you're doing a citizen science project about the world around you. Citizen science projects do rely on experts to validate observations, and multiple citizen scientists review the same thing. So a trustworthy consensus is reached. So don't let a fear of being wrong hold you back. Now the picture on the screen, this is a National Park Service project. They are surveying for mountain goats. We aren't going to be looking at anything as big as mountain goats today. We are going to be discussing bugs. Bugs have a bad reputation. People will describe them as gross or scary, and often people's first response is to just kill them. But bugs are incredibly important to life on Earth. They play a crucial role in pollinating the plants we eat, breaking down waste, and forming the base of the food chains that we rely on. A report in 2019 found that 40% of insect species are declining globally, and a third of them are endangered. This is not good news. Think about road trips that you took in the past. Did your windshield get covered in insect splats? Now think about a more recent road trip. Did your windshield get covered in insect splats this time? Probably not, or at least not as many as in the past. And this is tangible evidence of declining insect populations. So on the screen here are some insects that are found here in Texas, or only here in Texas. There is the coffin cave mold beetle there on the far left. At the top in the middle is the Como Springs diaphid beetle. Below that is the Como Springs rifle beetle. And there on the right is the American burying beetle. Now it is not unique to Texas, but it has not been seen in the state since 2008, leading researchers to believe it is extirpated or extinct in Texas while still surviving elsewhere in the United States. Today, we are going to explore 4 citizen science projects that seek to find out information about insects that can help researchers study and protect them. So our first project is the Lost Ladybug Project. We are losing our ladybugs. Ladybugs are a tiny yet mighty insect. They are the champions of pest control, protecting crops that we rely on from pests. They are also essential biodiversity indicators. This means that if you see a ladybug in an ecosystem, it is a sign of a very healthy ecosystem. Unfortunately, like many other insects, ladybug numbers are in decline. In North America, the 2- and 9-spotted ladybugs, which is our native ladybugs, are being seen less and less. In addition to threats from pollution, pesticides, and habitat loss, non-native or invasive species are encroaching on native ladybug habitats. So you can see on the right there, that is the Asian lady beetle. They are not native to the United States. So what can you do? Ladybugs from other parts of the world are expanding very quickly in both range and number, and researchers are not sure how this is happening or why. They are also unsure what impact these invaders will have on ladybug diversity or the pest control role that ladybugs play. So they've turned to citizen science to get answers. The Lost Ladybug Project, an initiative from Cornell University, is a way for citizen scientists to record their observations. You do not need an account to participate in the Lost Ladybug Project. Everything is done through their website. It is a very simple website, but it gets the job done. There is no app version of this website. Now, photos are especially important for this project, so a camera of some kind is needed, and your phone camera will work just fine. So to get started and submit what you see, you're going to click on the Upload Photos link at the top right to access the submission form, which is going to look like this. Now, the best time to look for ladybugs is in early summer. Wildflowers, weeds, trees, and shrubs are all great places to look for ladybugs. And when you find a ladybug, take its picture. But please remember that ladybugs are living creatures and may not have been counted in a ladybug census in their plans for the day. Make sure you avoid harming any insect during your ladybug count. The picture does not need to be perfect. It only needs to show enough of the ladybug for researchers to identify it. They can always zoom in if they need to. And if you do want to use a background, light gray is recommended as a good choice. Don't use your flash. Beetles' wings covers, which are called elytra, are shiny and reflective. A flash can cause a reflection in the elytra, and it can also hurt their eyes, just like it does yours. You can upload 2 photos per submission. More than 1 ladybug in a photo is okay, but try to avoid having more than 10 ladybugs in one picture. So you're going to take notes. You're going to record your location, the country, state, county, and the nearest city to your sighting, the date, and the habitat. So this is the plant or surface where you saw the ladybug. Your choices are garden, yard, meadow, bushes or shrubs, woods or trees, wetland, water or shore, a building, so inside, soil or rocks or sand, pavement, or an agriculture field crop. And that could include hay, forage, or even orchards. Now, additional information that is helpful to include but not required is also given as an option to fill in. So you can fill in some of it, all of it, or none of it. You can include the number of ladybug spotters. Is it just you, or are you working as part of a group of spotters? The ages of the spotters names, the length of time spent searching in hours and minutes, the method of searching. Are you photographing them on plants, collecting by hand, sweep net, beating sheet, or other? Weather, was it sunny, partly cloudy, overcast, or raining? The temperature, the site, trail name, or street address. If you are collecting on tribal land, if you are participating in the Kids to Farm initiative, the time of day, position in latitude, longitude, and altitude. Bug is still data. So if you're spending time looking for ladybugs, but you don't see any, make sure you still submit that form. Now, once you move on to page 2 of the submission form, there is an option to share what ladybug species you think you found. This is not a requirement, and you can submit your best guess. So let's meet the ladybugs. The Lost Ladybug Project seeks to find native species of ladybugs, but it is important to submit invasive species as well. There are identifying guides under Ladybug Learning on the website to help you with identification. So on the left in the blue box are our native ladybugs. So at the top, there's the parentheses ladybug. Next to that is the convergent ladybug. Bottom left is the two-spotted ladybug. And the bottom right is the nine-spotted ladybug. And this is now one of the rarest ladybugs in North America. So the non-native ladybugs are on the right in the kind of orangey red box. There is the checkered spot ladybug, which is there on the top left. Next to that is the seven-spotted ladybug. And that bottom one is our big issue. This is the Asian ladybug. While the other two ladybugs in this box are simply considered non-native, the Asian ladybug is truly an invasive species. They're in fact considered to be one of the most invasive species in the world. They can be difficult to identify because of how varied their markings can be. They are not true ladybugs and often overwinter in homes. They can produce a very foul-smelling odor. They come in a range of colors from orange to yellow to red and occasionally black. Typically, they have 19 black spots, which can be well-defined or just faint outlines. But they can also have fewer than 19 spots, and sometimes they have no spots at all. So the best way to ID an Asian ladybug is the black M-shaped marking behind its head. This can be thick, thin, or even disjointed, but it is going to look like a capital letter M. They are known to bite, and they will eat fruits if they run out of aphids. They are not as beneficial as native species of ladybugs are. Moving on to ladybugs, we have another favorite summer insect, the firefly. So we're going to look at Firefly Atlas. Fireflies are a part of many people's childhood memories. Lately, though, firefly numbers seem to be decreasing, and much like ladybugs, researchers can only guess why. Currently, habitat and light pollution are to blame. There are fewer habitats for fireflies to lay their eggs in. Human light pollution is believed to interrupt firefly flash patterns. Firefly flash patterns have been observed being disrupted by car headlights. This could cause fewer fireflies to be born in the next generation. So what can you do? You can participate in the citizen science project from the Xerces Society, Firefly Atlas. The Xerces Society is a nonprofit that focuses on the conservation of invertebrates and their habitats. The goal of this project is to better understand and conserve the diversity of North American fireflies. Researchers hope to advance their collective understanding of firefly species distributions, phenology, and habitat associations, as well as identify the threats to their populations. And Firefly Atlas is open to anyone in Canada or the United States. You will need an email address to create your account. Firefly Atlas is only available through your web browser. There is not an app for this project. Firefly season in North Texas is from May through September, so we're smack in the middle of it right now. And there are two ways to participate in Firefly Atlas: incidental sightings and surveys. Let's look at incidental sightings first. So you're going to use this option for any fireflies you come across throughout your day. This is what you will choose if you happen upon a firefly or see one flying and flashing at night. You will record the location. So by using the map, it will auto-populate latitude and longitude. Add the state where you saw the firefly, and if the location you have selected is an accurate measurement. So you say, yes, this is the accurate measurement or not. Now, if you're in a sensitive location, you either don't want to share your address or it is somewhere that could be damaged if a lot of people visit, you can mark it as a sensitive location to ensure the exact location is not displayed to the public. You'll then be prompted to input some event information. For the event type, you are going to choose incidental firefly observation. The time of day, was it daytime or night? Primary observers' names. You can use just your first name. You don't need to do first and last. And then observers and their names. This is optional. And then you will add the date and the elevation of your location in meters. So I do a Google search for the elevation of my location. For example, doing a search for Plano, Texas elevation shows me that our elevation is 219 meters above sea level. Your start and end time, the approximate area searched in hectares, and target species is optional. You're going to say if fireflies were present and any notes that you would like to add. The weather, this is optional, and you can choose to fill in all of it, some of it, or none. Light conditions, also optional. Habitat, optional as well. Site management, also optional. And then you're going to click Save Event Survey to submit your sighting. You will then have the option to upload photos to the Add Observation portion of the submission form. Now, the other option are firefly surveys, and this is a good option for the dedicated firefly citizen scientist. Firefly Atlas recommends that those who want to do surveys familiarize themselves with species in their area, watch a training video, and familiarize themselves with Xerces Society's survey protocol. There is a printable data sheet that you can use during your survey that you can download from their website. And when submitting your survey information, you're going to use that same form that we just went over that you would use for an incidental sighting, but this time every field is required. There is nothing optional about it. Let's take a moment to meet our fireflies. Texas is home to several species of fireflies. The ones you will most likely see in our area are the two-step flasher and the Big Dipper. And this is the one that I see most frequently. On from our nighttime insects, the fireflies, let's take a look at monarchs. This is the Journey North Monarchs project. Now, monarchs are a familiar symbol throughout North America. They lay their eggs on milkweed, which is the monarch caterpillar's host plant. They can only survive if their eggs hatch on milkweed plants. Monarchs overwinter in Mexico. In March, they begin to migrate north. The butterflies who overwintered in Mexico are not the same ones who complete the migration. Instead, it is carried out by subsequent generations as adults mature, mate, lay eggs, and die. Monarchs once migrated in numbers reaching millions, but today their numbers have decreased by over 80%. We are more familiar with why monarchs' numbers are decreasing compared to our other insects covered tonight. One of the reasons is habitat loss. Over 90% of the grasslands along the monarch's central migratory flyway has been converted to agriculture or urban development. Now, Plano is located in the Texas Blackland Prairie. Less than 1% of the original undeveloped prairie exists today, making it one of the most endangered ecosystems in the world. Pesticides kill monarchs and their caterpillars, and herbicides kill native nectar plants that adult monarchs feed on, and the milkweed plants that caterpillars depend on for survival. I was recently at the Oak Point Nature Preserve, and they have a lot of antelope horn milkweed right now, which is really exciting. Now, what can you do? You can participate in the Journey North project. Now, this is the Citizen Scientist Initiative that tracks wildlife migration and season change in North America to foster scientific understanding, environmental awareness, and the land ethic. It tracks the migration of many species, including hummingbirds, eagles, and red-winged blackbirds. But today, we're only focusing on monarch migration. But if this looks like something you'd enjoy, these opportunities are open to everyone in North America. Now, you will need to create an account using your email. And like our other two, there is no app for this citizen science opportunity. So everything must be done in the browser. So you're going to start watching for monarchs and log your sightings. Clicking sightings will navigate you to the page where you will record your sightings. Once you log in with that account that you created, you will select monarch butterfly from the drop-down list under Select Species or Events and click Continue. Please note there is also an option to record your sightings of milkweed plants here as well. Next, you're going to enter the location where you saw the monarch. You can search by address or by manually moving the red marker on the map. And you're going to state what you saw. Was it an adult monarch, monarch larva, a caterpillar, or monarch eggs? There's also an option to note what you saw was the first one you saw of the year. And then you'll just click that blue Submit Report button. And you can view all your sightings by clicking on My Sightings on the Sightings Report page. Monarchs migrate twice a year. They head north in the spring, leaving Mexico sometime in March. And they begin their fall migration in mid-August. So we're coming up on that. And this means you can participate in Journey North monarchs twice a year. Any recorded sightings of monarchs and their caterpillars is valuable. But to make your monarch observation go even farther, you can participate in the 2025 International Monarch Monitoring Blitz. Report your sightings as usual through Journey North. You will be reporting sightings of monarchs, milkweed, monarch eggs, caterpillars, and their chrysalises. The information collected during this blitz will help researchers identify priority areas for monarch conservation actions, as well as analyze trends in summer breeding populations. So this started on the 25th and it goes through this Sunday, August 3rd. Now there are butterflies that resemble the monarch. So to give you a few tips on identifying them, we have our monarch mimic, the viceroy butterflies. They are there on the left. And they also live here in North Texas. To see the difference between the two species, you're going to look for black stripes on the hind wings. So if those black stripes are on the hind wings, it is a viceroy. Now, don't let confusion between a monarch and a viceroy stop you from submitting your sightings. If you are unsure what you're looking at, try to get a picture to include in your sightings report. The researchers who use the data will be able to spot the difference, and you don't want to pass up a valuable monarch sighting just because you aren't sure if it is a true monarch or not. And that is a monarch there on the right. Continuing with our butterfly theme, there are the butterflies and moths of North America. As we have seen in the last 3 citizen science projects, our bugs are in peril. And this includes one of the more popular families of insects, Lepidoptera, home of butterflies and moths. In addition to habitat loss and threats from pesticides and herbicides, research suggests that climate are causing butterflies and moths to shift their ranges as well as emerge earlier in the year. But researching these trends requires scientists to have access to a lot of data. Some of this data can be found in museum collections, personal collections, published literature, and physical field guides, but these sources have their limits. They're scattered about, they're not in one central location, they can be out of date, they can be difficult to access, the details included can vary, and not all lepidopterists, those studying these insects, know about them. And so they want to create a one-stop database of North American moths and butterflies. So every butterfly and moth that you see on the screen right now are endangered. There's the Carner blue butterfly, Bartram's hairstreak, St. Francis's satyr, the Arogus skipper, which is found in Texas, the Bisis kipper, also found in Texas, and the bog buck moth. So we have a few endangered butterfly species in our state. So as I mentioned a moment ago, butterflies and moths of North America seek to serve as a one-stop shop database of North American butterflies and moths for researchers to use. So, as a participant, you will take pictures of the moths and butterflies you see and upload them to this website. There is no app for this project. You will need to create a free account using your email, and once you do that, you will receive an email with a link to set your password. So you're going to click the green Submit a Sighting button to begin the submission process. Let's go back real quick. It is going to appear in the same place the login is once you're logged in. You are going to add the date and time, as well as any notes about the day you might have. So for example, if you're unsure the date you saw the butterfly or moth, this is a good place to note that. If it was the beginning of the month, you could put June 1st as the date and add seen in early June, possibly June 2nd or 3rd in the data notes. But these notes are optional, so don't feel like you have to include them. You're going to add some species information. So the organism type, is it a butterfly, moth, or caterpillar? This is required. Suggested know who you're looking at, you're going to put that here. And then observation notes. These can be about its behavior, the weather, or anything else you think would be helpful to include. If you submit a picture of a caterpillar, include the host plant, what it was on or was eating when you took the picture, or any nearby plants. Sometimes that host plant is the key to identifying the caterpillar. Typically, larvae have a host plant they need for survival, like monarchs and milkweed. So including the plant can lead to a quick caterpillar identification. You can also upload a picture of what you saw. Make sure you are uploading pictures with the same species. You do not want to upload more than one species at a time. The location where you saw the insect. You can enter your address and click Get Location or click My Location, or use the map to navigate to your location. If you have any notes about the location, add them here as well. But again, those notes are not required. You will add any partner projects that you are participating in on this page. If you are not participating in a partner project, just skip it. Then you're going to click Save, and you will then receive an email thanking you for your submission. If it's a submission they decide to use in their database, they will then send you a second email to let you know that they're using it. But don't be discouraged if they don't use it. Keep submitting your pictures. Now, if you'd like to see what species are in your area, go to the species profile at the top of the butterflies and moths of North America page and select regional checklists from the drop-down menu. Then click Go to Regions, click United States, and scroll down until you see Texas and click on the box. Now, there's a lot going on here. This is what's going to look like when you get there. The map will show you the 100 most sightings in the state. On the right are the top 10 commonly reported butterflies and moths in Texas. You can use this list to familiarize yourself with common butterflies and moths. But keep in mind, this is a list for all of Texas. And we have a lot of different habitats here in Texas. So some of them may not be in our area of the state. And on the left side of the screen, there's an option to view an extended list of the top 20 commonly reported butterflies and moths in Texas. Now we're going to switch gears a little bit with our next project, which is the Big Bee Bonanza. Are crucial to sustaining global food production. 1 out of every 3 bites of food that you take is dependent on pollinators like bees. Bees are decreasing in both numbers and diversity. And unfortunately, our understanding of what is driving these declines is limited because researchers have insufficient data on bee species distribution, which can help predict changes in their ranges due to changes in climate. There's also a lack of data on anatomical traits that can make bees vulnerable or resistant to things like habitat loss. Now, on the screen here are some pictures of native Texas bees. While we tend to think of honeybees that live in a hive when we think of bees, these are not native. They are brought over here from Europe. Think of them as a little bit like feral animals. It's weird to think of bugs as being feral, but they have essentially escaped domestication and they are living out in the wild. Most native bees are solitary bees. So on the screen here, we have a bumblebee on the far left. In the middle on the top is a leafcutter bee. Next to that is a mason bee, and below that, there in the middle, is the sunflower bee. Now, Big Bee Bonanza is a different kind of citizen science. Natural History Museum collections have over a century's worth of bee specimens that could hold clues to gaps in knowledge that we have about bees. Much of this information is contained in the museum holding the specimens and can only be accessed by exploring the collection in person. The U.S. Science Foundation Advancing Digitization of Biodiversity Collections project has funding to take high-resolution 2D and 3D images of bee specimens in museum collections, as well as to develop tools to measure bee traits from images with the goal of creating a comprehensive bee trait and image dataset to help measure changes over time. Basically, a bunch of museums got a lot of money to take pictures and post these online. So if getting up close and personal with bugs or going outside isn't quite your thing, maybe this time of year it's a little too warm or it gets a little too cold in winter to go out, projects like this one may be a good fit for you. Big encourages citizen scientists to measure traits and transcribe data to help create this bee database. So to do that, you are going to create an account on zooniverse.org. Zooniverse is the world's largest platform for people-powered research. There are many different projects similar to Big Bee Bonanza that you can access through Zooniverse. So you're going to go to the Zooniverse page and search for Big Bee Bonanza on the project page of Zooniverse. Scroll down to the section titled Get Started and select the project you would like to work on. You can look through each option to see what interests you most before making your final decision. And you can also participate in more than one. When the project opens, a pop-up appears telling you the goal of the project. For example, Cool, Calm, and Colette's focuses on transcribing text from specimen labels. Clicking Continue gives you a tutorial on how to complete the task. Once you complete the tutorial, you are ready to begin. You can see here, there is our picture of the bee and the information there on the left, and that is what we're trying to digitize. So if you find yourself stumped, you can click Need some help with this task, and it will give you specific information on filling in data for the entry box. Now, there's no obligation to stick with the project you're working on, nor is there a required number of entries that you need to make. You can do as little or as much as you like, and you can jump between projects. This gives you the option to play around to see which project is right for you. So we're going to look at using iNaturalist to report bug sightings. Now, iNaturalist is an online social network of people sharing biodiversity information to help each other learn about nature. iNaturalist's mission is to connect people to nature and advance biodiversity science and conservation. It is a crowdsourced species identification and an organism occurrence recording tool. You can upload all your bug observations to iNaturalist. So if you are participating in some of the projects we touched on earlier, you can also upload those observations to iNaturalist. And this is also a great option if you want to record any and all bug observations that you make without an official project limiting you to a particular species. You can see here, this touches on projects. iNaturalist projects allow users to pool their observations with other users, and this increases the value of your observations as it gathers like observations in one space that researchers can see. When you join a project, you'll be able to add your observations to the project when you are making them. Now we're doing a very, very brief peek at iNaturalist, but next month we have an entire program about it, which I'll give you the dates in just a moment. But some of the iNaturalist projects you can upload your observations to are Project Porchlight. Its tagline is bathrobes are the new lab coats. And you can add observations of the insects that are attracted to the light from your porch light. And if you use an UV light to attract insects, you can upload these observations here as well. Now, the insects of Texas, which is just below that, you can add observations of any insect you see in the state of Texas to this one. And this is helping to create a guide to common Texas insects. There on the top right is the Lepidoptera of Texas, where you can add any butterfly and moth observations to the project. And below that are the bees and wasps of Texas. You can add your bee and your wasp observation to the project. So you can go out specifically looking for Lepidoptera or wasps, but you can also just submit any insect picture you take. So what is next? Now I touched on Zooniverse a few slides back when I mentioned Big Bee Bonanza. And if that type of project really sounds interesting to you, you can visit Zooniverse, and it has a lot of projects with focuses beyond science. And it's a great resource for finding projects that align with your interest. So there's some like uploading of handwritten documents that you will transcribe for a database. There's all sorts of science ones as well. So there's space, there's nature, there's different types of animals in nature. So if ocean's your thing, there's options there. And there's one where you can view like images from track cameras at watering holes in the African savanna. There's a lot of really neat things on Zooniverse. As a reminder, the International Monarch Monitoring Blitz is July 25th through August 3rd. And then our upcoming program is on August 25th, and it is iNaturalist. We're going to talk more about it as a citizen science project, and we're going to learn about BioBlitz, including one that is coming up here in Plano in September. Now, if you registered for this program, you were automatically registered for the iNat 1. So you don't have to do anything special for that. And that does bring us to the end of our presentation. So if you have questions at this time, you can drop those in the chat. All right. Well, thank you so much for everyone coming today. We really appreciate you being here. Please be sure to stay up to date with the Plano Public Library by following our Facebook and Instagram pages. You can find recordings of past programs on our YouTube channel. And you can also visit our website to see our library calendar and all the programs that are coming up, both virtual and in person.
We did get a question. We got, what do you do if you find a caterpillar in a plant and it is eating the plant?
It depends on how attached the plant you are. I let them continue eating it. I have a very insect-friendly backyard, and I just let them continue eating it. If your yard is balanced enough that you have all the things that might eat the caterpillars, these could be bugs, these could be birds, they will kind of take care of an overabundance of pests on their own. If it is a monarch caterpillar, I highly encourage you to just leave it. That doesn't mean it's on milkweed. They are teetering on the edge of endangered species, so we definitely want to preserve them. And if they do get marked as endangered, that does make them protected. So again, it depends on how attached to the plant you are. If you do not want it eaten, you can let it, you can remove it, put it somewhere else. You can kind of clip off maybe a little branch of the plant and stick that with the caterpillar in a jar. See who comes out of the chrysalis it's getting ready to build. Or you can just let it sacrifice a little bit of the plant for the hungry caterpillar. Most of my landscaping has chew marks in it.
Says thank you for your suggestions.
Oh, you are welcome. All right, well, please complete our program survey, which should pop up following this program. We value your feedback. Thank you again for joining us today, and we will see you next time.